Hey, oh, geez, sorry, just dropped the dog here. Let's get it, set this up so you can actually see what's happening. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna move back here. Oh, Mr. Beans. So we're going on over a week now where I have not been able to um, edit any of the videos that I've shot. Are you or not? Ping there, are you? Um, but I mean, obviously you see what's going on with the hair and stuff. I got a little bit more sleep last night. This is I got him last Tuesday. I took him home, and now it's Monday, the following week. Okay, and you say that when they bite, you want to redirect them. You want to say no, and then you want immediately, and then you want to give them something else to bite on. Say no, not to what not to bite on, and he's also I a little bit of the carpet shows through here, through what, and he's been biting on that, and so I've got this. There, he's taking that poor thing off to do whatever he's going to do to it. So there's a thing called bitter apple, which I just ordered off of Amazon, and can't wait for it to come. There's some things that need to be off limits for him. In terms of chewing on that are still accessible from, I guess, his X pen. So I've been opening it up. He's got all the way into the kitchen, around the corner. I'm not sure if the last time I did my live, if that was a situation, but my daughter's come back. My son, who wasn't that much help, he was busy with his own stuff, went back to college a couple days ago, and then yesterday my daughter came, and so she's been a big help for. I actually got to get out of the house for the first time by myself. I got to play a little pickup soccer with my usual group, and I wore a mask, so don't question that. And as well as got to do some shopping, some grocery shopping, and so yeah, it's just helpful. She was just hung out with them for a few hours. But what happened was, I don't know if he was anxious or just because it had just been the two of us for so long that he. I now have a tray in the kitchen, the turf tray. I'll show you here what I'm talking about. And so I had the smaller one, which we've been using just so it would take up less space, and I put it in the kitchen, and it was fine. He was able to do it. But then when my daughter came, he was missing. He would poop right next to it, and then he would pee right next to it. And obviously he's a puppy. He's not quite 11 weeks old, so that's going to happen. But we had a thing going, and so that my guess is that. I mean, maybe he's sending a message. Maybe he's sending a message to me. Maybe he's sending a message to my daughter. I don't know. But I'll keep you up to date on what happens there. So last time I was just rambling because I hadn't got any sleep and, just grabbing at different things. So it was tough for, anyone to, make any sense of what I was talking about. I couldn't make sense. I haven't watched it back. I'm too afraid. But what I'm going to talk about today is just on what I've learned in the almost past week about the main things, the house training. That's what everyone cares the most about, especially in an apartment with carpet, is how do you keep the puppy from doing his or her business on your rug or in places they don't want them to be. And so it's about and with the Havanese it's very nuanced with them, but they're different from most puppies. And so I've heard the first thing is about, how much do you feed? How often do you feed? And do you free feed? Free feed is just we lay the food out like in this X pen area, and he can eat whatever he wants to. And so the breeder he was with, that's what they did. But of course, when you have multiple puppies in a litter, and that's going to, you can't, you could, but it's very difficult to for you to have any sort of semblance of a life if you're have each one, getting fed at a certain time and not eating someone else's. So anyway, so he was free fed. Beans was free fed from the breeder, but most of I've read, it says, there's a couple schools of thought. The one in support of, what are you eating there? Okay. Okay, we don't want. Yeah. I guess you can't get that out. So wait, no. Always making. Yeah, I've had to take away from that because this is a making great video. And the and Beans, just a side note here, his eyes are so black that you can barely see his face. And me wearing black, I probably should just be wearing white or something. I'm wearing black from head to toe. Okay, bite on this. And so for him to become an Instagram star, we'd have to do something. I don't know, maybe get contact lenses, some white contact lenses or something, so that you can see his eyes. He's super cute. But there you go. Yeah, that's a put 'em. That's a put 'em. All right. Yep. And side note, when they lick your face, that makes them feel, that helps them to relieve their anxiousness. It's yeah, he was giving me what for with my no, he's back to that thing that could hurt him if he I put some wire up just to hold something in place, but that could cut him if he is able to spin her around. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But let's see if we can get him back here. The heart's still beating on this thing. If you watch my other video, which I think only like 10 people did, I talked about this new thing I got that has this. It's supposed to duplicate, like, you at night you put in, or I don't know where you, but just when they're away from their mom, they're all alone. It's got a warm center from a. It's not warm, right? I guess it warms up when the puppy's up against it, and then it's got a heartbeat. You shouldn't hear that. Yeah, so that's supposed to make him feel comfortable. So let's see what he has to. All right, let's move back a little bit. All right. So anyway, but back to the potty training and the feeding and stuff like that. So the reason for no, good boy. So for the reason for free feeding is so that they don't, end up feeling like they're not going to get food. No. Here. Good boy. But maybe you can't tell the difference between biting on me and biting on the stuffed animal. So when I'm rewarding him, it may just all be the same. But yeah, you get it. You get it, boy. You get that. You get yours. And see, he's looking at me like I'm crazy. I got Pup so that it would look at me like I'm a genius, not like everyone else looks at me like I'm crazy. Okay. No. Yes. Here. So, so they don't, because that the free feeding is supposed to be for, so they never feel like they have to, like they're hungry. They always know that the food's there. But I start them off right away with like 4 times a day, just filling up a bowl full. I didn't really have I kind of eyeballed it, maybe like a quarter cup. But I've heard I've heard different things. That's what you're going to hear. I mean, if you read around, you're going to hear everyone has their own idea, and you have to find out what works for you. You know, trial and error. No, no. Yes, good boy, good boy. Okay, so no, no, no. Yes. So, yeah. So yeah, it's trial and error, and all these guys have different personalities, um, and so and guys, he's the one. He was the mellow one of the group because his I met one of his brothers I talked about the other day who just was so full of personality and jumping around while Beans was hiding underneath the sofa. And I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. I'll have a really chill one I won't have to worry about. But boy, these things can howl and they like to whine. Um, and now he's working on that again. So for the feeding, that what I do is I put the timer on for 15 minutes. So I put his food down. I let him know it's there, and I start the timer. So hopefully, over time, he's going to associate when the timer going off that his food's going to be taken away, so that he knows to sit there and eat. And that's the thing with these, and that's the thing with these Havanese, and I mean it's puppies in general. Geez. Is that they have to know you have to set the tone early, or they're gonna alpha dog you. Which so speaking of food, speaking of food and things like that, yeah, you eat first to show them who the alpha dog is, and you set the stage as early as you can, as early as you get them, so you don't have to deal with bad behavior later on. So you show them that you eat first, and then you put down their bowl, and then you let them go, eat their food, and then before you take it away, you let them know you're taking it away, and then you give them a last chance as they're picking it up for them to get anything else out of it. And so they'll get accustomed to that. So the reason for having timed feeding is that then you know when they have to go to the bathroom. And so that's the thing I was talking about is, for the house training is knowing when they're going to go so that you don't have any surprises. And obviously it's not a perfect science. 15 to 30 minutes is what I was saying. It's typical. So if you're going to take them out anywhere, whether it's, just over to, to walk around other parts of the apartment, you want to make sure that they've done their business first, so the business doesn't happen, obviously, where you don't want it. And so that's like my biggest takeaway is just, keeping that consistency. It's like anything. It's like with the child, and they feel more comfortable when they know what's coming and when it's coming, and they won't be as anxious and hyper and jumping up and things like that. And I've taught them a few tricks. I've taught them that I will not come into the X pen. This is my command for God, that almost looked like a Heil Hitler. So I'm not doing that. But this is my command for him, and he knows now to sit. And if he jumps up, then I stand back, and then I do the same thing until he sits. And these are just really anxious anxious dogs, and they'll jump all over you if not. And then you can't see it, but this is on top of his crate. My laptop is. And so putting them in the crate, you want them to go in of their own accord. I mean, you want to support them in it, but if you want to crate train them, so if you want to go out during the day, and you don't want them, whining, because especially in an apartment complex, these guys howl and they cry and stuff like that. And I've yet to leave him alone. So that's just probably for the first couple weeks, I'm going to work on the crate training until he feels comfortable. You want to make the crate feel like it's a home, because dogs are den animals. And what that means is they feel comfortable in a enclosed space. And when they have this much, I let him out the other day, just around the apartment, just for fun, to see what he'd do. And he went wild. I mean, a completely different dog. And you'll see that in my videos once I get a chance to actually go to my other computer and do my editing, that this guy was crazy. I mean, it was just hilarious, because you see him now. He's this laying here. Let me move this, because he is the star of the show. All right, there we go. All right, okay. All right, there we go. And I'm looking through one of the gates here. So after the potty training part, and just getting him used to when to eat, and then when to do his business. Then you're doing all these things at the same time. What are you chewing on? Okay, that's okay. You're doing all these things at the same time, and in between, you're sprinkling in when they're not sleeping, because you do want to, if you want to crate train them, you want to put them in multiple times per day for a couple hours, hour and a half, 2 hours, so they get used to that amount of time. If you go out, typically that's how long you'd leave a puppy in a crate, because their bladders are so small that they typically have to go to the bathroom every couple hours. Whereas during the day, that is, because at night, you just, I've heard different on this, but I take the water away like an hour or so before he goes to sleep, so that he won't feel uncomfortable, and he'll sleep through the night in the crate, which I take into my bedroom, and he's sleeps right next to me on a raised, not a bar stool, but a side table, and that puts him equal level to me, so he can see me, and not really. I mean, he doesn't really cry at night. I mean, when I put him in, I will make sure that I'm petting him and stuff like that, relaxing him. And then I have my doggy music that I play, so he knows. And I play that during the day when he's in the crate, so he knows subconsciously that that's time to rest. And this was the last night, was the first night that at 4 o'clock he started to whine. And the thing is, you got to listen to them if they, if they're whining, because they're, during the night, but when you're first getting to know them, because you want to find out if there's really something happening, they may be in pain. And because he doesn't really whine when he's near me, that lets me know. And so at 4 this morning, I took him out here over to the turf to do his business. And the thing is, you kind of got to hang with him, keep him in that space, because you're going to take them back to bed. If they get all anxious or hyper, then you have a tough time bringing them back and going to sleep. And so if it had been 5:30 or 6, I would have been like, okay, that's morning time, because at 6 o'clock is generally when all dogs go out for their morning constitutional. And so. And I had never done this before, so I didn't know how it's going to work out. I've never taken him back to the crate in the bedroom once he'd come out, and I didn't even know if he was going to pee or not. So he did, and then I brought him back in, and of course he didn't want to be back in his cage, and I just sat there by him, and I put my hand outside of it so he could at least feel my hand and lick it to make him feel more comfortable. And then we both went back to sleep. And so that was pretty good. I think I got an extra like 2.5 hours. So it was the latest that we got out of bed, which was 6:30 this morning. And then and then after that, we came back and ran him around to get him get him moving, and then I did some training with him, and I was teaching him to lay down. He knows how to sit. I was teaching him to lay down, and that didn't really take. And that's one of the things with these puppies is that they might not get it. It might, you just have to be very patient and give them several times of, I mean, you don't want it too long. If they say anywhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes is what most puppies can handle. And then after that, then I fed him. But of course, I showed him my keto bar that showed him that I was eating it. I shouldn't be doing that, man. Okay, strike that. I guess this is live, so that's not going to happen. But so I showed him I was eating first, and then I put the food down for him, show him who's boss, and he ate the whole thing right away, which is the first time that I've seen him do that. And then we've just and after that, I crated him for I think an hour and a half. I fell asleep too over on the recliner while he was right here, and so that's the thing that's going to be different when I go out, because he's used to being able to see me because I'm always seeing the recliner when he's in the crate, and he's very sensitive. So when I get up or move, he usually jumps up right away. But again, he's very new to these surroundings, and so bit by bit. But it's the biggest thing for me, just having patience, because as someone who's lived alone pretty much for the past 11 years, I mean, obviously I have 3 kids, and had them half the time. I mean, I say had them half the time because now one's off in college and the other one's about to graduate high school, and the third one that's and then COVID and everything, so I don't have the same consistency. But here comes my daughter now. This is live, by the way, just letting you know. Whoa. You are stand up. Okay. No. Hey.
Since when do you bark?
Okay. Whoa. Wow. Oh, I forgot to say something about. Okay, Tolly, come here. Can you come here and get on his level?
Oh, it's lunch.
Okay, so that's a first. So you guys just saw it live. That's the great thing about doing it live, because then you can see this never happened before. He's never barked at somebody. He's barked in his. I mean, not even a bark like that. He more howls when he's in his crate. But yeah, so then you see what happens. So he's really. I predict another poop where it's not supposed to be. But it's obviously that I thought my daughter had bonded a little bit more with them after the 6-hour drive with them coming back from Arizona, but I guess not. So that just means more special time together. Okay, I think that's enough for today. You got to see Beans in all his glory. So hey, let's sign out together. Okay, come over here. Oh hey, let's show him what you know. Okay, here we go. Beans. Okay, Beans, come over here. Beans, you're making me look bad. Beans. Wait. Okay, you better get low. Okay.
Hurry. What are you doing?
Okay, so right now we have a standoff in the kitchen.
What is this? I literally hung out with you all day yesterday. Yeah, you're just excited. Wait. I won't have this.
Maybe don't do that, but maybe because then it sounds like it's competition. But just put your hand out to him so he can lick it.
Man's too far.
Okay, so what we're having right now is what's called a Mexican standoff. It's where neither one wants to move, and and he's okay. All right, let's see if I can get him over. Beans, come on, we got to sign off here. You got to show your fans. Yeah. Okay, so here, Beans. Okay, look, Beans, 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 look at me. Oh yeah, he's already sitting, so I can't. Let's pull it back here. Okay, Beans, Beans, Beans. All right, so this is a little bit of what to okay,
I'm
wait.
gonna get you.
No, don't.
I'm gonna
get
get
lower.
you.
Get lower.
Come here.
Get-
What are you doing, furry man? Come here. I got you. No, stop running. I got you. No, I got you.
We need a Beans sign
Hey,
off
big
here,
man.
so I can
Hey,
let all my
you can stop being so
my two
scared.
fans go. Here we go. All right. So Beans, what do you want to say? Anything you want to say? His heart's beating really fast. So, but let's just give him. This is what people. All two of you. I know why you're here. You're here for the beans. You're here for the beans. All right. Let's move him away from me so you can see his eye. Oh. Beans. Beans. Don't look at her. Don't look at her. She can't give you what you want. Only Daddy can. All right. How about a little lick? Yeah. Yeah. That's the way we sign off. All right. Let's end the stream. It's not it. See you later, folks.